All right, and so this video is going to be a short tutorial on how to use the new timesheet that we're supposed to be using starting July 1st, 2018 with the new 2472 schedule. It's important to note that you pull up the timesheet each time using this method and fill it out. And then we're going to show you how to either print it to put it in the outgoing mailbox or to save it and send it an email, which is the preferred method. To save the paper and the time and the effort. So anyway, we want to make sure that we go to charlescountymd.gov. Each time you want to fill out your timesheet, you should do it this way because the version that you might save now in 2 weeks might be an updated version, in which case the version you're using would be an old one. So we want to just do it this way. That way you're using the latest version. charlescountymd.gov, go to departments, scroll down to EMS, and then if you notice right here, there's a big link that says new DES timesheet, and you're going to click on that. Now you can fill it out from this point and then print it, but ideally you want to pull it up in Adobe Acrobat, which is a free download. You should be able to put it on any computer, and I already have it filled out here. For this example, we're going to be using C-shift. As you can see, there's a C-shift schedule on here. And we're going to be using the pay period starting the 21st so that we can show you how that 1900 schedule works. And so we're going to go over here. I've already pre-filled out the dates, but you'll want to do that. The nice thing about this is you can actually pull down the drop-down menu and select the date and then just go through. So you'd have to do that for each one of these boxes, and then at the end type in the ending date for that pay period. You're going to type in your name and your employee number. Then you want to select your platoon. This lets us track it easier with the supervisors. And then you're going to look at your schedule. And so for this C-shift schedule on the 21st, that employee is working 07 to 07. However, on this date, on the Saturday dates, we're only tracking the 1900. It starts at 1900. So even though I worked 07 to 19, that's going to be on the previous timesheet. This one's going to be 1900 to 0700, which equals 12 hours. And if you see, once you put the total hours down here, it automatically tabulates your total hours over here on the side, which is pretty nice. We go back to the schedule and see that I worked on the 25th as well. So we go down to the 25th, 0700 to 0700. That's a 24-hour shift. And there's your total hours that have tabulated over here. Now we're going to go back to the second week, and you see that on the second week I work on the 29th. I'm going to put 0700 to 0700, which is 24 hours. And then again, I work on the second for a 24-hour shift. So 0700 to 0700, and that's 24 hours as well. And you see it tabulates over here again. Okay, from this point, that's the timesheet. Unless you had overtime or anything else, you've filled out everything that you need to fill out. And you can either hit the print button up here and print this out and then sign it and put it in the outgoing mailbox. Or, ideally, there is a digital signature that you can do. There's two ways of doing that. If you have an Adobe account and you've signed up to actually sign the form digitally, you can go down here and click on the signature tab, and it's going to ask you for your signature, in which case you'd put in your ID, your password, and it's going to digitally sign that form. Once you digitally sign the form, it's going to make you save that PDF, in which case you can save it out into the desktop and then email it that way. You're going to make sure that you put your date in here. It should be the last day of the pay period. And then you're going to digitally sign it and save it, and then email that saved form to your supervisor. The other option for this is to fill and sign using the box over here. And once you do that, you can go up here and click on sign, and you can set up a signature up here by typing in your name, and it'll do a cursive signature. Once you do that, you click on that, drag your signature down here. You can extend the box and make it a little bit bigger so it's legible, whatever is easiest for you. If you choose to save it this way, the regular signature with the cursive and not a digital signature, then you're going to want to save the form, in which case you come up and you do File, Save As, and then select the desktop is the easiest way to do that. Save that form on your desktop, and then you're just going to include that as an attachment on an email to your supervisor. All right, so if you were to say have some overtime, let's say you picked up 12 hours of overtime on the 23rd, Monday the 23rd, from 07 to 1900, you're going to put in under Other, because it's overtime, 0700 to 1900, and then you're going to put the total hours down here. Again, it's going to tabulate there. Okay, let's go over how to work a swap on this form. So if you have a swap that you're working, you don't get credit for those hours on the date that you're working. And so you would pick the date. So let's say that you work the 27th from 07 to 07. You're not going to put any hours associated with that because you're working the swap. You get credit for those hours on another date. And so that's why this area over here is blacked out. And let's say that you were swapping the 27th for the 29th. And so that's not going to go there any longer. It's going to go here. So swap not worked, meaning that that is the day that you swapped out of. You're still going to put your hours here, which is going to automatically tabulate over here. However, it's a swap, so you want to make sure you list your hours under the right field for the swap not worked. There's two sections here for the swap not worked in case you had a couple swaps. And then you could fill out two different swaps. For other shift, begin and end, this field here would be for, say, collateral duties or something else. So if you got off that morning, then went in and did some TEM stuff or hazmat or any of the specialty teams, you could add those on there for other shift. Under leave, if you're taking leave, so let's give you an example for leave. Say you took leave on the 29th and it was annual leave, you would check what you put the hours under whatever category that leave was that you took. And so if you took 24 hours of annual leave on the 29th, you would do 0700 to 0700 and then put your total hours down here for leave, and that would tabulate over here. And so that's pretty much it. It's very simple to use. Your supervisor should be able to walk you through it if you have any other questions, but this video covers just about all the different situations you might come upon with the new timesheet. Again, you want to save, sign it, and then save it, and then email it is the best option for your supervisor. But if you don't have that option, or if you're on a community computer where you can't save or access your email, you can always hit the print button as well. Print out a physical copy. You can hand sign it, or you can sign it with, or you print it with the signature here, and then you could send it out in the outgoing mail.